Hey guys, how are we all? Alrighty, I'm just gonna give it a couple of seconds for a few people to pop on here with us. Um, and then we're gonna get started. So I just want to talk about tonight, just quickly, whether you're watching this live tonight or you're putting the kids to bed and you might watch it later or tomorrow, or even whether it's the coming weeks or months. With the way the market's softening in Australia, I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that when they learn about increasing or decreasing in certain pockets or areas, that the media or I suppose reports that you receive are median prices, not average prices. So it's a big difference when you're looking at median and average prices when you're looking at anything, to be brutally honest. But I'm going to be specific just on the real estate side of things here today. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of people to jump on. Now, guys, like usual, if you have any questions at all, comments, whatever, I do have my comment box open. I'll be able to see any comments you're putting in place so that we can, answer any of your questions you may need. Or if you just got general comments and opinions, just be nice to me. It's all I'm asking. No, it's all good. Guys, so what I'm going to talk about tonight specifically is median versus average prices. So what we talk about that is you'll hear on the media, you might get some reports where they say the median price has increased by 10%, decreased by 10%. But a lot of people who may not understand what median is, they're thinking of average, which is totally different. So this is where you got to be careful. And I'm going to explain to you why you got to be careful, because you really need to understand median pricing and how they work it out. Because for some pockets or some suburbs, it can really change the dynamics of how you feel about a suburb or what returns you could potentially see. So first thing I'm going to do is take you through median versus average. And then I'm going to give a couple of examples of where I see where people could be misled into thinking the wrong thing with median prices or returns or whatever that might be. But I just got to share my screen, guys. So bear with me. I'm going to share my screen, see if we can get this to work right today. Just takes 2 seconds to share this, sorry everybody. And then I'm going to show you a little, I suppose, picture that we put together today, best way of explaining it for you in real and easy terms. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Get this to work for you. All right, I hope everyone's well. Okay, mirror my iPad, it worked. This is unbelievable. All right, too easy. So this is a little graph, I wouldn't say graph, sorry. This is a little diagram would probably be the best word, sorry, everyone, of median versus average pricing in real estate. Now, what I'm going to start on, I'm going to start in average, because average isn't really relevant to what all the reports you receive, because they all rely on median prices. So let's start with average. So an average price is very simple. So you'll see down the side here, everything you see down here, what they do is they add all that up, they get to this figure here, $8,879,000. Now there's 11 houses in this diagram. So they're simple, they just divide that by 11 and they come up with an average price of an area of $807,000. So if you were looking at averages, and a part of me wishes they did do averages because, it's a bit more of a longer term view of a pocket or an area, which you can work out averages yourself. When they look at median, it can have a steep decline or incline depending on what's happened in the marketplace. So when we look at median, basically the median price property. So if, for example, let's just pick any suburb. Let's just pick, I don't know, Brisbane as an example. And there was 11 houses sold. So there's 11 houses in this picture here across the top of this diagram were sold in, we'll just call it Red Hill as an example. Basically, as you'll see there, this middle price is $505,000. So the way the market or any reporting's done is the median price. So this is not average. The median price, which is the middle, it's the middle price, sold at $505,000. Okay, but you'll see here, you could probably say, what's that, 10? There's 8 properties in the $500,000 bracket, and there's 3 properties above that. Now, when we see a median price change is when we see more of the higher properties sold or more of the lower properties sold. Now, what we've got to be careful of is when the media, everyone knows I'm not a fan of the media. They pick up negativity, but whether it's media, whether it's a report you see, and where you go wrong is a lot of the reports coming out now are saying, there's been a 10% decline in a certain suburb or whatever it might be. But all it's been is these houses here, there's less of these top end houses selling. So there's more of these bottom end houses selling. So the middle, instead of being here at $500,000, it's probably more around this 502, for example, because there's more houses selling in the bottom end of the market. Because when the market isn't ridiculously busy, the top end houses either A, don't sell, or B, take a lot longer to sell because there's less people in that marketplace to buy them. So it's very important when you're looking at a median price, and if there's a decline in a certain suburb or an increase in a certain suburb, you really, I'll be honest with you, there's a certain degree, you need to go back and see what that, to a certain degree, what properties are being sold. And you can go month by month. Like if you look at realestate.com.au, CoreLogic, you can actually go back per month, and you can, if you had a pen and paper or a spreadsheet or whatever, you could work out directly how many properties were sold, and you could actually work out the median price per month, and you could possibly work out the average price per month. And of course, there's all different data things you can put together yourself manually, where most people aren't interested in doing that. I'm a bit of a nerd, but that's how I work on an area. So I hope that explains a little bit, because I'm going to give you some examples in a minute, but this is an example of median versus average. This is just real estate as an example, but realistically, median average as a whole this is how they work it out. Because what I want people to stop getting misled by is when they say a median price has dropped by 10%, and it's only because some of these top big sales haven't happened, and there's been more of the bottom sales happening. So the middle's moved, or the median's moved. Because we're lucky. We are very lucky in Australia. We're very lucky in Australia. We are in Australia where the government protects the household. So everyone's concerned about interest rates going up. It's not a big deal, because as the interest rates go up, sure, you may have to pay out some more money on your interest. We all knew that was coming. But they will protect the household. So if it gets a little bit of mortgage stress in the household, they will bring them back. They will adjust. Because I'll be honest with you, the biggest thing I worry is inflation. So inflation concerns me way more than interest rates, because interest rates, you can get rid of debt, you can do different things. Inflation, you just up the shit, you got to pay it. So basically, median value is the middle. So I'm going to give an example. It's a couple of examples. The biggest one is you've got a beachside suburb and you've got a main road going through the middle. On the beach side, where it's closest to the water, obviously you might have your properties in your $2 or $3 million bracket. On the other side of the main road, they could be under the $1 million bracket. So when the market's busy, a lot of the beach side, which is the higher end, are selling. So the median price of the suburb goes up dramatically. And then when the market's slower, more of the lower end houses are selling. So the median price drops. But the media, so all the bullshit people out there, they'll grab that, right? They'll grab that and say, oh, these suburbs had a 20% decline, but it hasn't. Because if you're an investor, like a mum and dad investor like me, you should be in the bottom end of the market anyway. You shouldn't be in the top end of the market. That's not the right place to invest in a suburb, because you're buying at the top. So if anything, there's still good value in the bottom end of the market. Sure, the prices might not be skyrocketing like they were there through the COVID tax issues, but you've got to understand, do not just work off what the media say. Look into more detail of the numbers. And that's why I personally consistently visit areas, so that when I look at median prices, I can justify whether it's one of those suburbs with a split. I suppose I call it a split suburb, where you've got high-end properties on one, low properties on the other, and that could be a beachside suburb. That could be in some areas where you have one suburb, you might have 1 acre lots, and then down the road you might have 500 square meter lots. And of course, the 1 acre lots or 5 acre lots up the road are going to be a lot higher price compared to the other ones. So you get that same issue where you've got your median price can change dramatically, purely because there's two different, it's a split suburb. There's two different sort of tiered markets in that suburb. So, but the way they work out capital growth and the way the median prices are worked out, they take the whole suburb into consideration. And if you think about it, they always talk about capital cities. Capital cities, the median price of the capital city has gone up, has gone down. But you've got to remember, you've got capital cities. If you look at Sydney, for example, that is a massive area. And when we look at that, the prices are millions of dollars different. They're huge. So I'm just trying to push the subject of, if you're looking at the median value or the median price change of a pocket, you really want to make sure you understand what median is. And better than that is understanding the suburb you're looking at, mainly because you need to know if it's what I call, and now this is not a term of real estate or whatever, this is what I call a split suburb or a split region, where you've got to look at the fact of, are you looking at buying in the top end of the region, or are you looking at buying in the bottom end of the region? And that's where you've got to work it out. In some suburbs, you might have had some ex-government housing in some streets, and there's a new estate less than a kilometre away. We see that everywhere, purely because of Australia is a very big growing country, and they get landlocked and they've got to expand and release more land, etc. And it still could be called a suburb that may not have been a suburb that where everyone wanted to live 20 years ago, but now it's a nice suburb because there's all new estates, everything's changing. But when you're looking at the median values, it can be a big difference in there as well. But if you don't know the area, the best thing to do is you visit the area. That's what I do. I'll go into an area, I'll visit it, I'll spend a day in the area, if not, a couple of different days over time, just analysing the area and just seeing, do I see the median price changing that much? But a big thing I look at, which, this is probably going off topic in relation to median average, is days on the market. That's what I look at. Days on the market is a prime example of how hot the market is or how quiet the market is. That's a big indicator I use. Yeah, that's the best one I use when it comes to different pockets, guys. But do we have any questions for tonight? I haven't been live a lot lately, sorry guys. We've had a bit of sickness in our office here, and yeah, we've been a bit behind for the last few months. But is there any questions for tonight? Now, even if you're not watching this live, please feel free to pop a question in. I'll get a notification. I'll be able to jump on and answer it for you. But apart from that, guys, I just wanted to jump on quickly and just break down median versus average. We will be doing a lot more lives now. A lot of our members and clients are really asking us to go live a bit more, just to learn a bit more. But yeah, we've got a lot more time up our sleeve now, guys. But I'm really looking forward to the next market. We're excited as a buyer's agent. This is the market we want because, we work on behalf of the buyer. We're always hunting down properties versus, we're out of that real busy market. There's some great stuff coming through. So guys, if you ever need any help, anything, you know where we are. Reach out to us if you have any questions. But guys, yeah, thanks again for listening tonight. I'm Wayne Jessup, the Property Bloke, and I look forward to, teaching you a few more things over the coming weeks. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.